Hi guys. It's Wednesday. Sorry, I had to think about it for a second. Oh my god, it's so hot. And I'm a little irritated right now. I spent the day with my mother. And my mother, she talks like I do. I guess that's where I get it from. When we were younger, Heather, my sister, and I used to pick on her about it because when she would tell stories, it would take forever to get to the end. And it would be very detailed and everybody's background and a million details just to get to the point. And I know I do that too. And I started doing that about a few years ago. And she's just gotten worse. So one story will take all day long. And then she gets stuck on the things and then she doesn't listen. She'll keep asking questions like, do you think they were talking about me? Do you think that's why she did it? And I'll be like, no, probably not. But and then it's like her mind's already made up. She does think that, so it's just like she won't shut up about it. But that's not it. I have patience because of that, so I can listen to stories and stuff. That's why I'm usually good with like older people that come in and they tell, you know how they do. They tell their like old guys and stuff. They'll tell their whole life stories like in nursing homes and stuff. So I'm very good with that. I'm really gonna start working on it. It's just so annoying. I was literally almost falling asleep. She got here today, and she starts telling me about this story about what happened at work yesterday. And it took an hour to finish, and all I wanted to do was tell her about the neighbor that screamed at me yesterday. For the second time. And we get into the car, and she's like, well, I'm still not finished my story. And I'm like, yes, you are. And she's like, no, I'm not. And I was, blah, blah, blah. So that was all day. And then we went to the dollar store. And I just got frames. Because I did need frames for like a couple of Annabelle's things. And then that certificate that the VA sent done. So I put that in there. So I just grabbed 4 because I knew I needed that for his, and then I know I have it's put away or aside for her stuff. So while we're in the dollar store, that's how my mother is. I think I've mentioned that in past videos. She's big on always being right, and it's always the I told you so, and I told you should have done this, and you should have done that, and it's this and that, and it's like, okay, well, that was 20 years ago, and it's done, and it's over with. There's nothing you can do to change it now, so let's move on from it, okay? But no, that's just what she likes to do. So we're in a dollar store, and I'm like, I said this. I said, you'll be happy to know that you were right. And she's like, what? And I'm like, Xfinity is charging me for the phone. So I knew she was going to be like, I told you so, because she was saying that, are you sure it's not a fee, and they're going to lock you in and do this and that. And that is why I asked them several times, all this million different people that it was, through 5 different phone calls, until that was said and done. But I expected her to also be like, oh my God, because the time that the lady did the credit and said it was going to be the $1,000 in credit, and the phone bill and sorted it all out and everything, she was on the phone and it was all on speakerphone, and I asked her so that my mom could hear her. I specifically remember doing that on purpose again while it was on speakerphone, asking, are you sure there's no fees? I'm not paying for this phone. I'm not going to be stuck in a contract, locked, this and that. Nope. And I guess she was in the background, not listening to your story or listening to what's being told to you, because she's just like, well, I know you said that, but I don't remember that, and this and that. But she does this with everything. Every single day, I'm like, well, Tony said this and this and that. Who's Tony? What are you talking about? What, are you talking about the house or the store? And it's like, when you tell your story for hours on end, I listen and I'm listening. But when it's my turn to talk, you're all looking at the clouds, or, ooh, tumbler cups, or look at this, that you can't beat that for $7 off. And it's like, well, do you really need it though? Who cares if it's $7 off if you have 50 of them at home? Then, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, no, nothing that I say is programmed or like absorbed, whatever the word is. So that's usually fine. But what she actually did is where she's still talking about it in the dollar store, into the car, I told you store, it's like gloating because she was right. And we're in the car driving, and I'm like, Mom, just go this way, this way, this way. She's not listening to the GPS again, or I'm saying turn left, and she's saying, well, I think it's this way. No, we're not going to go in a circle. We're going to be late picking me up. Listen to me. It's right. So we go, and she's still saying, I told you, I told you. And then she's literally like, well, I told you so, I told you so. And I'm like, Mom, but you heard her say, no, I told you so. I was looking out the window saying, well, you heard her say this, and then I heard, and it was like an instinct. I heard that laugh. It was like a malicious, gloating, I'm so happy I'm right, like picking on you laugh. In this situation, you're laughing at your daughter that got completely scammed and screwed in a tragic situation like that, and you're going, I almost hit her. I swear to God, there was like this thing, and I'm not violent like that, but it was just like, I almost like motion because of that laugh. It brought me right back to being like 15 years old. I told you this, and you said that. So that has been bothering me like the past couple hours. I just cannot believe she was just gloating and alright, so there's that. I finished a lot of emails today. I talked to Tony. You know, I was just like, this is Dana. This is Dana such and such at such and such. You know, do you recall? I was like, they did that, and then the mail just came. They're going to charge the account $70 on the 15th for the cash register every month, which is normal, but can't really be done right now on that account. So he answered, and he was like, there's a lot to do and this and that. And I said to him again, you know, I've known a lot of union workers, and I know that he works hard. He didn't say much again, but, you know, I really don't know what goes on in his life. I do know he flip-flops from night work to day work to night work to day work with these refineries and stuff. And I know that how straining and how hard that is. And then doing a business, that's a million different things, a million different phone calls, you know, trying to do this. And I said to him in person and stuff, if you need help, I'm here, tell me. You know, I have no problem staying on the phone all day or doing these emails to help with the license and stuff. So, you know, I sent that in a message to him, and I was like, just let me know. If you need help, I am here to do this. I don't care. I'm part of it too. I will help you do this so we can get it moving along, or if you need help with this and stuff. But I don't want him to be too prideful to ask for help. And I haven't really gotten to know him like that. It seems like that may be part of his personality a little bit from what I know, but, you know, it's just like I'm trying to get him to feel like he doesn't have to be. You know, I don't care. I'll help him with anything. Just ask me so we can do this, because it's like do or die right now. It's serious right now. It's just like so scary. And then, you know, someone commented on that one food stamp video, you know, well, get a job, and someone was like, amen. And I'm just like, well, you know, this isn't a random video of me like complaining, like, give me money and the state's not listening and this and that, and I'm doing nothing. It's just like, people should never do that when they're just like, oh, this person has an addiction problem, they're at home, you know, get a job, don't complain. And it's just like, you don't really know what they've been through or whatever. So in my sense, this is a journey that I know I've made mistakes, and there's a lot that I could have done where I would be in a different place right now, but there were circumstances, and it is what it is. It happened how it happened. It played out the way it's going to play out, and everything else will too with everybody. So it's just, very scary, and that's why I want to document all this, because I know I'll forget this memory problem, and I don't ever want to forget. So it's here for me to rewatch and never be in this position again, and it's here to teach other women that are in the position not to be scared. Start doing stuff in secret if you have to, because that's what I would have had to have done. You know, things that you need to do in secret and figure out and file, and it's serious. And people that can drive or meet people or do have money and access to do it and get it done, you know, or just normal life. You and your spouses or whatever situation you're in, get these types of things done and figure it out. Because it's a mess. It's a mess. It is a living nightmare. And it's scary if it's just you. You know, I don't even know if I'd still be here if it was just me, honestly. I'm not strong enough to do this. The Annabelle is what has gotten me this far. Because that's the only thing that motivates me and pushes me to even just... the thoughts that I have to push aside, because they date back to my 20s, and if it wasn't for this kid and my older kids, you know, because I know that everything will turn around, and it's just... I always thought that I was gonna go first, so I can't leave them with none. Especially with what I went through it for 10 years after my father died. And I don't even know that I really dealt with that, honestly. I had to stop thinking about it to get through the alcoholism and stay sober, but I just had to stop thinking about it because it consumed my every thought. So I was forming a tear in my throat at the end of the drinking, and it was a nurse that saved my life. He seen me every time I was in there, and at the end of the last 6 months I was pretty much in the ER back and forth every 2 weeks, and it would detox, I would get out, try my best, and with, you know, relapse, and I couldn't stop. That was something that was so powerful, and that's why I understand addiction and people going through it. I don't know how I got out of that. I honestly don't know. But that nurse, his name was Chuck, and I'll never forget him. He sat down next to me. He reminded me of Jay, my brother-in-law. And he started crying, and he said, "Dana, because you keep throwing up the alcohol," my body was rejecting it at the end. I would have to sit there with a trash can, and I would hold my nose to drink it, and it would just come right back up, but I would keep trying to sip it so that I wouldn't start shaking. It was just awful. And the acid was making it tear, and he sat down next to me and he started crying, and he said, "If you don't stop this time, you're not going to make it back here." He said, "Once that breaks, you're going to choke to death on your own blood." So I went home, and Al kept bringing the alcohol in the house, and Don kept nagging. So like I said, I put the balls and the horseshoes in the front yard, and I just played the game day and night in the front yard by myself until it was bedtime every day. And those first 3 months were the hardest thing, because all you think about is drinking. And I still don't know how I did it. I just was scared to die, I guess. And that woke me up when I never could remember being in there. So it's like everyone knew me in the hospital on that wing, but I could never remember in there because I went in the ICU every time. And I would be in there for days before I woke up and even realized where I was. And I would drink alone at home in my room. Don would just bring the alcohol and put it down in the morning in the room and then leave for work. So that was hard. And it's just really hard. That's why I can't think about what happened now with Dawn on top of everything else. And it's just so much. And you wish, you know, I started talking about that comment, and it's like you don't know what people have been through and what they've gone through and what they're going through to just say things like that. Because I guess I have no actual skills on paper, and my only reference of work is gone. So, I guess they're choosing other people, because I've been in the Wawa that I walk to every day, and there's 3 new people in there, and I applied several times to that one in the past few months. And I'm just saying Wawa, but it's everywhere. It's just a small town, and there's only certain places around us. And then there's the further places, but I mean, I've applied to places just for the hell of it. Stuff I know I can't even do. But something will come, and the deli will get done again. It's just you're trying to do other things to make money, and that's not even working. So that was my day today, and I don't know, I'm having a hard time. I feel like I'm gaining weight. I know that shouldn't matter right now, but I guess because, I don't know, I guess I don't have any coping mechanisms, that's starting to bother me again. But it really, I really do, and it's strange though, you know. I only ever ate the sandwich before bed for years, and I had to stop eating that, obviously. So I started eating the bagel every night for bed, and it's like, how can that be different than a sandwich to make you gain weight? I don't get it. But I am. It's just a random thought, and it's strange. Maybe it's the coffee. I never drank coffee before. Apparently that's lots of calories. I hope everyone's having a good week. It is so hot today. I just can't believe it. It was cold again. I think it was like in between yesterday. Yesterday was good, kind of like warmish, coldish, but the day before that it was really cold again, and it's just like, what? So it was at 87 at one point in my mom's car. I don't know if that meant in the car or outside. It's supposed to mean outside, but I was just like, what? Reals?
Her brother was a great guy. Somebody was always there for others.
I have to get the, I'm going to see Amber. She ordered me a flash drive or floppy disk, whatever those things are that you put on the internet for the copies, because like I said, we couldn't go there because of the baby being out in NICU, and we were sick on and off. So now that she's better and we're better, I guess she's, you don't know, but it's only for a minute. We got to put those on that thing, because Don's daughter texted me yesterday. She's not like rushing me or anything. She knows that there's a lot going on to get the health records, and she asked me to do that, and I did. We went and got that all done. I did that in the other videos. That was a huge mess, but apparently they're still telling her and the lawyers when they call that Don never had the cancer. They're still trying to say that, when I already picked up all the records of it. And I'm like, how can they even say that if he had an oncologist? It's in there that he had an oncologist, that he had the radiation, and that he had the chemo. What else do you have all these things for? why would they be saying that? I just like, are they bringing up the wrong Don? It doesn't make sense. So I got to get all these records to that lawyer's quickly. They were saying it wasn't any rush because they weren't even doing anything. So they need to get it all in before August, and then things start moving along. So and then there was all these things stopping us from getting this done, and then so it's all here. I have it all now. I just have to make the copy. But then I was like, we don't even need a disc, actually. If it doesn't come, we can still do it, because I never thought that, it never occurred to me, because I don't use the internet and stuff like that. So everyone's got to bear with me with these things. That I could put the disc into the computer, and then when it all comes up, just save it, email it to her or the lawyer. I never thought to email it, you know. We always used to joke that I'm like a little delayed with like obvious things, and then, you know, I'm the queen of stating the obvious. But so we have to definitely do that. I just want to check that off, get that done, and then she's going to give me the copy of the will, which I need for the files anyway. And then Mom's just been on me about that to see if I don't know what she thinks, but there's nothing that can be done. I haven't heard from anybody else this past week, you know, so it's been pretty quiet. And I can't use the phone much because they're charging me, and even though they're going to be last to be paid at this point, and there's nothing I can do about that until things pick up. And Xfinity's awful. I cannot believe, after everything I call yesterday to be like, you did this, and that. I want my transfer in. Oh, well, you got to pay for the phone now. But they said I already paid for the phone 100 times, several different people. I'm like, where are these so-called recorded phone calls that are monitored? There should be 6 of them times like 4, how many people it's been every single time. Hour-long phone calls. More than hours. The day she did the credit, that was 4 hours. I had to even go pick Vanna up while I was still on the phone. And that's like unbelievable, but it is what it is. They just keep transferring you. You're not in this section, you're not in this section. I'm like, you know, how can that? Remember, it was 2 things until like the 3rd phone call, and then it was like all of a sudden, well, no, it's 2 separate things, internet and then mobile. We gotta switch over. And I'm like, well, they said it was all together. Nope. I mean, God. My mom did seem a little wired today. I don't know if she's stressed about what's going on at work, but it even sounded like her voice was shaking a little bit, and then she kept feeling dizzy, and she was like, maybe I'm coming down with something. And I'm like, you got your blood work done, but I really think that you should see a cardiologist. She never has, and I'm like, just because your cholesterol good does not mean you're not going to have a heart attack. That's what she thinks for some reason. And I'm like, there's a million other factors. You need to go get checked. Just be proactive about it. Well, in our day, we don't do that. No, well, it's not your day anymore. So I'm just like, go do it. And stress is a silent killer, because stress alone will cause a heart attack. She's all stressed out about these people. So there's a million things that could happen. She needs to get things checked for real. Not just go get blood work every few years and take Lipitor to make sure your cholesterol is okay. And that means you're not going to have a heart attack. She's a nurse. She should know better than this. But it's like she knows that, but it's also her stubborn I'm right things, where she's just thinking old school thing, like generation, like I just said, instead of thinking about what she knows scientifically. All right. My Bam Bam is with Heather across the street. That's the little girl's mommy. They're playing on a trampoline. They got the trampoline too, so that's fun. We always get the pool and everything in the backyard here. I was going to see if we could fit a trampoline, but I thought we'd have everything settled by this month, honestly. So I don't even know what we're going to be able to do for summer now. It's awful. Because it's just about bills now. There's no... And I feel so bad for her, because she's just used to all these different things. And when I say used to, it's not like spoiled, rotten type of thing, but, you know, just regular things that she's just not going to be able to have right now. Unless I do unless stuff starts coming through like a normal person going to work and this and that, and I'm at the deli and it's hot and it's just, you can't even come in because of the things and the people, and it's not good right now. Everything's not good. All day the phone rings, I answer it, spam, 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 and a million different things, from mostly from all that loan stuff I filled out and stuff like that, instead of people calling about, like, well, you here apply to such and such. And I hope it all gets done before this phone gets turned off. I guess maybe I might scrounge up enough to be able to pay off the bill for the month to keep it on, like another month maybe. But it's just like, I don't want to give them anything after what they did. I just would rather switch. So I just want to switch back to Metro. So I'm trying to save that 100 just to get it back on in the internet. So that's the phone service and the net, and then I'll do that. Alright, well, I love you guys. I feel like my videos probably bring you down. When I'm so happy and chipper, I want to bring you up. We'll get there one day. One day soon we'll get there, and it'll be happy videos. My mom did get me some makeup today. When we were in Rite Aid to pick up my medication, my doctor called in penicillin for my teeth. She seen that the Revlon was all on sale, and it was 75, buy one get one 75% off. And I was telling you guys that in one of the makeup videos about how my mom loved Revlon, and I was trying to remember why. It's because, like, in the 80s or the 90s, they were like the first people where it was actually, it was exactly what I was saying. It was some rich people, like dermatologists or somebody, that started doing it. Was like real stuff that they were using in Hollywood and stuff in the same makeup, like that they were selling on like QVC, real expensive, you know, Beverly Hills type of stuff. That it was the same people that bought the company for the Revlon. So that's what it was about. So she got me a concealer. This looks a little dark. She picked it out when I went outside because she was in there doing something. It'll work though, but why does she get such dark concealer? Concealer is supposed to be lighter, isn't it? I always use lighter concealer than foundation. Huh, maybe you're not. She's an expert. I picked this out though. It's the Lock setting spray. She got that because I was like, the problem isn't any of the makeup I'm using really. It all works and it all looks good and does this and that. It's the problem is nothing stays on. And then the blush. So I'm gonna try the blush because remember I was telling you guys everything I use pretty okay, but blush is the main thing that just doesn't stay on all day. So the foundation is somewhere. It might be in my bag. The foundation, the concealer, and the setting spray, and oh, I put it in here. Yeah, the Insta Blush and blurring powder. I have no clue what this is, but we'll figure it out. I guess there's no directions on it. I wish there was directions. What does blurring powder do? Is it like setting powder? I don't know. She got really excited. That's when she usually buys makeup, was when it's on sale. So that was pretty good. You couldn't beat that. Buy one get one 75% off. So but she got a lot. She got the concealer that she uses, not the concealer, the foundation. She bought 4. I was like, jeez. How long did... Oh, that's cute. It's got a little mirror in there. Didn't expect that. Alright, guys. So that's Revlon. I will probably see you tomorrow, if not the next day. Sorry about the glare. Sitting down to do the video for the first time today, except in the car when I'm being laughed at. Busy, 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 busy bee. I'm going to put whatever, I'm going to look for what I needed to put in these frames. Get Vienna in, bath time, and dinner. I can't believe she laughed at me. Oh, and the neighbor flipped out on me again yesterday, implying that I was knocking on his shed when his dogs were barking. He was always so nice. It's the guy that was in the background a while ago. For people that watch it every day, I'm sure you remember, it was just a neighbor, and he had problems with his son. And I remember saying, he always says his words as it's like a 20-something-year-old Vanabelle, because he spoiled him and didn't discipline himself. That's what he says. And I relate to the boy, and I understand him, and I feel for him. Well, like a month ago, all the cops were out there because apparently he was hitting a girlfriend again or something. They were fighting. I don't know. I mind my own business. I don't talk to anybody. And then a couple days ago, I'm walking up, and he starts screaming at me. And I think I told you guys this. Haven't I been good to you and your daughter? This, and that. And I just thinking maybe she ripped his flowers. That's what she was doing. I'm like, why? What's wrong? And the cop told me that you called Lexi, or somebody told him that I called the cops and talked to them about Lexi. And I'm like, who's Lexi? What cops? I've never talked to cops in my life. I don't call cops. And it was Lexi's the son's girlfriend, and the son left. He's living with the mom somewhere else, and the girl's back with her mother somewhere. And I'm like, I don't know who these people are. Mommy, what, baby? They keep leaving me. Who keeps leaving you? Don't Allie? No, alright, well, you gotta come in anyway, so stay right there. No. Did you bring anything off the porch? Bring your scooter up. Hold on. I'm gonna put a shot. Oh, so he's screaming, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know this, blah, blah, blah. We talk for a minute. I think he believes me, calms down. And then he's like, the same people that are coming in here being nice to you are the same people that are talking about you and causing rumors and lying. And I'm just like, I know. I just have to be nice to everybody. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do. So yesterday, I go to see if my daughter's on the trampoline in my friend's driveway, but his backyard faces the driveway, and I start to walk, and his shed is there and the fence. And the two vicious pit bulls start jumping over the fence to rip me to pieces, and I'm just like, whoa. So I stop right there so I don't bother them and keep walking. And I just see them, and I say, is Vienna on the trampoline? And they're like, no, she walked over. She wasn't supposed to do that. She walked over to Ellie's, which is next door, and she was in their backyard doing that. So I said, okay, and I'm about to walk away, and he's suddenly standing right there where the pit bulls were, and he's like, who is knocking on my shed? And I'm like, I didn't see anybody knocking on your shed. And he's like, because I'm confused for a minute, and I'm like, maybe it was the dogs. They were jumping on the fence. Maybe it was just banging against the shed. No, I know what knocking is. I heard the knocking. Literally screaming at me. And this guy was always nice as pie. Sitting in there talking to my husband every night. Knows all the same people we do. Wanted to work in the deli if we needed help, this and that. But then with the girlfriend, he was screaming, I'll own the deli and this and that. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, well, I could have went in with you partnership on this deli, but you didn't talk to me because you were scared of me then. And I'm like, I talked to you the entire time. I just didn't assume that you were in a position to be a partner because you never mentioned it. You never said anything like that to me. You were in there every single day after my husband died saying how much you missed him and you liked him and this and that. You never, and knew what was going on. Knew that I was looking for a partner. Knew that I didn't have money to place. Never said anything like that. So no, it wasn't because I was scared of him or anything. I talked to him every single day that I seen him. So I don't know where that's coming from. But then he's screaming at me like that somebody's knocking on his shed. And I'm like, I thought maybe he meant before I just walked up there. Because it was literally 2 seconds I walked over. Says, Van on trampoline, and was turning around. And I'm like, looking in the trees. Because it is a shed that goes, like a driveway. It goes far into the back. And they're all connected. And the back of the house is back there. Okay. That's like me. So I'm like, did they run? I'm actually confused. Like, well, I didn't see anybody. And he's like, well, what the fuck, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, they have cameras, maybe. And he cuts me off, and he's like, I don't need anybody's cameras. I know what knocking is. And I'm just looking at him like, what's going on here? Like, why are you flipping out on me? And he's just like, because I don't like that you just made it sound like I was lying and calling me a liar. And I was like, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. I didn't mean to make you feel that way. I am literally confused. I don't know if you mean someone was knocking before I literally just walked up here, or if you're actually implying that it was me and screaming. I have cousins in unmarked cars around here now, and I have all these lawsuits against the cops, and they're doing this and that, and my cousins are watching, and I'm from Chester, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I don't know if someone's in his head and now he thinks I'm doing stuff with people because whoever mentioned my name or somebody said the wrong name, but I seen that the son was back last week. I don't know his name. I don't know the son's name. I don't know any of their names. I don't mind. I don't talk to anybody. I mind my own business. I don't gossip about these neighbors and their different business. I don't know anybody. So I'm pissed now, and I walk away, and I'm like, Vanna, get in now. And I'm like, this is why I didn't leave the friggin' house for 8 years. I was like, I mind my own business, and I don't even talk to anybody, and I'm being screamed at for the second time in a week about doing some shady, crazy stuff. I'm like, everybody that lives here and knows and watches knows I don't even leave the house. Except to work and do errands and stuff. I mind my own business. I don't know what's going on with him. He was so nice, and then now it's just like, why would he think that I'm knocking on his shed to aggravate him or his dogs? That's why I was literally confused. Like, I thought maybe someone was doing it before I walked up. That's why I was looking around and was like, well, did they run away? Is it kids? What do you mean? No. And he was just like, whoever it is, I'll have them tore up and stuff. But he was implying that it was me. He thought it was me standing there knocking on the shed. And I didn't hear knocking. But when the dogs were jumping on the fence is loose. And it was going, they're big, huge pit bulls. It was going clank, 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 clank against the fence. I think that's what he heard. And from a distance, maybe it sounded like knocking. But he's being really mean to me. And I don't know why. He has to know it wasn't me. If the son came back from the house, the son had to have been like, no, I don't know who that is. She doesn't know who she is. That girl never talked to anybody, my girl. It makes no sense. I mean, he's good people. He works really hard to provide for those kids and stuff. So, I mean, I've always liked him. I don't know what's gotten into him lately. I don't know. I guess people in this neighborhood, you know, they spread rumors, the whole stuff with Jane before and stuff. That's why it gets wild in this neighborhood. And I didn't really know how bad it was until I've been out more and then seeing it and then just hearing all this stuff. And it's just like, that I keep to myself. It gets scary how people can turn on you like that. Alright, it's time for us to get ready for bed. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Subscribe. And always, thank you for sharing. And please share my GoFundMe. And donate if and when you can, if that's possible. You know, is that. But if not, definitely just share it for me so it can circulate. Because I only use this, and then I don't add people like on Facebook and things because that scares me. That's why I was like, I'm old school. I'm stuck in 1998 dial-up ASL. You guys remember that? Like, I don't want to be kidnapped. I was like, I don't know how people meet. Like, I don't know how people do like online dating. Not that I'm trying to. I just don't know. It would scare me. I'd have to have a whole crew there. Alright, I love you guys. Thank you. Be safe. Enjoy your night and your day tomorrow. And, as always, thank you for any help or support or advice. I really appreciate you guys.